So it's the end of the run, other than the, I'm going to call it the epilogue of Owl that I'm going to put in because I forgot to do him. Oops. This is all Sword Saint and Demon of Hatred, cleaning them both up. And I think that I go get the Demon Idol first and then come back and do Sword Saint and then go do Demon. And you will appreciate the series of stupid fucking blunders that I make running back to Demon of Hatred. Jesus Christ. It's like the areas that I wouldn't think would fuck me up. I don't know what that is. It happened in Bloodborne as well. It's usually in the run up to Shadows, where I don't know what happens. Jesus. Anyway, so I don't know what else to say about Demon of Hatred and Sword Saint that I haven't elsewhere. But I guess I can talk about them when I get to them. But I had made a comment previously about these games being sort of comfortable and familiar and never really wearing out their welcome. And I stand by that. I mean, it's years later, and I'm as obsessive about Dark Souls 1 and 2 as I was at the time. And if I'm being honest, I bought Dark Souls for Xbox 360 long time ago, and I fucking hated it. And I sold it really quick. Not because I felt like the difficulty wasn't there, or the difficulty was insurmountable or anything like that. I just wasn't vibing. I just wasn't feeling it. And I don't know what the turn was that got me to vibe with Dark Souls later. I'm not sure. But I did, and like I said, I'm as into it now as I used to be, more so. And these grappling skills right here are the worst I've ever fucking seen. And right here, and I get hit again, and it's just horrible. You'd think I never even played this goddamn game. So, anyway, I find it amazing, and there are other games that have been like that throughout my life, like Silent Hill, Resident Evil, Persona, Ninja Gaiden, that really occupy this very special place where it's almost like they were around for these huge changes in my life, positive changes, the death of people that I've loved, and those moments. And revisiting these games, it's almost like it puts you back into this very familiar and comfortable place, and it just sort of makes you feel, I don't know, it sort of makes you feel like I don't want to say just good. I feel like that's an understatement, but it's like listening to a really meaningful song, only instead of a song, it's a multi-hour long game. But I feel like the Soulsborne games are like that. And I don't know. I love them. They do it for me. Put it that way. And I think they do the same for lots of other people. They're just these little capsules of memories and good times. But it's not just that. I feel it's also just the lore and the games themselves, even absent of all that. Like, even if you didn't have that attachment to the games, just the fluidity of the mechanics and how solid they are, and the lore and the aesthetics and all that, they're all perfect for replayability. So, I mean, it's so deep and so multi-leveled. How great these games are. Right here is one of the most annoying mini bosses. And you can puppeteer this enemy right here that I just ran by, and he can help break up the aggro, but you can also do a gotching and run around and death blow the other enemy that's there with 7 spears. But here, I'm not even gonna fuck with him. I don't care. you get a prayer bead, so please be sure to do that. It's your first or second run. But, no reason to right now. So here, I believe I'm going to Akko's and Divine Confetti and then go do Genichiro. And I'll say this once, even though I've said it a million fucking times. The goal with this is to know how to fight Genichiro so that he's not an obstacle, so you don't have to worry about him. Alright? So he'll open with that, and then sometimes he will follow that up with another swipe, and you can't just stay where you are, even if you're behind him. You have to navigate. You have to navigate that swipe. So just, I would say, be cautious of that. It can be irritating to fight him in the tall. I can't even think of what these are called, because you don't know sometimes if he's going to do a Makiri or a Pounce Perilous. I can't even keep talking about him because it's over so quick. But master Genichiro, and then once you do that, then master Ishin's first phase. This attack is, you don't have to run away from him and then go back in like I did. You can actually deflect all of that. It's up to you how you want to deal with it. I just like running and then going in and doing that. This right here. It's just how I'm comfortable fighting him, but you don't have to do it. And he'll have 2 Makiris. That's one. The other one is when he just sort of walks to your side. Here. And the first phase really isn't... it's not hard, you know. It's... I don't know what to say about it. It's not hard. But, yeah. On a recent thing, a video that I uploaded, I made the comment that Sword Saint remains my favorite boss in this game. It's true. And I've given it some thought, actually, since making that video. And I do believe Sword Saint is in my top 5 Souls bosses across the board. I mean, Maria is number 1, without question. But Sword Saint definitely cracks the top 5. Can't really find anything wrong with it at all. I would say those 5 bosses are the ones that I really... I think that they're so good that I really can't find any fault in them at all. I mean, well, obviously for being picky, but whatever. At this rate, pissed me off so hard. Sometimes you will not land the Makiri. You'll just sort of scoot beside him. And Sword Saint, obviously, will fuck you up a little bit if that happens sometimes. And I haven't, after all these hours, I haven't really worked out why the Makiri misses sometimes, unless it's just my own ineptitude. So, fuck it, I don't know. But it happens. Yeah. So, Sword Saint, the second phase, is really just all about deflecting, being on top of it, and also being really aggressive. Because you don't want to fight Sword Saint going after HP. You want to go after his posture, not his HP. So you have to be super aggressive. If you go after his HP, it's going to be a long fucking fight, and there's no reason for it. And he hits a lot harder than you do. He's a lot faster than you're going to be. So if you're just going after HP, I think you're just giving yourself more time to get fucked up, basically. But the more aggressive you are, the more you can control what's happening. Because hang on. Before I finish that, right there you saw that I was about to do the mortal draw. This is a fuck up of mine, and you have to be careful. If you're trying to spam deflect like I just was, which I absolutely should not have been doing, you're going to get yourself into a position to where you're trying to spam deflect, and then you get ready to attack, and you accidentally do right there like I had the mortal draw. You don't want to do that, because Sword Saint can attack you through it. So don't do that. But that's Sword Saint. Perfect fight. Best fight in this game. Top 5 for me in all of Soulsborne, Sekiro. And I've been thinking about doing a video on my top 5 bosses, or top 10, just in Souls across the board. I've been thinking about doing that, but we'll see. And I completely fucking forgot what I was talking about before I started to talk about the fuck up with the mortal blade, with the mortal jaw. Oops, fuck it, who cares? So now we're gonna go off to Demon of Hatred, and Demon of Hatred is a fight that I love, and I think it is a great boss in this game, but not without its share of frustrations. And the fight that I have with him here, I ended up having to use one of my resurrections, and I don't like to do that in these games. In Sekiro, I don't like dying in general in these games, but I think I'm trying to think back over the course of the whole run, and I can't honestly remember if I died to anything other than Al. I think I just died twice to Al, like legit died twice to Al, and I think this is the only other time where I had to use a resurrection. So it pissed me off, to be honest, because I'm kind of confident with Demon of Hatred, but every once in a while it's just like my brain and my hands aren't communicating, and I just, whatever. God damn it. But super fun boss. Not a boss that I would put in even my top 15 Soulsborne bosses, but one that I find fun nevertheless. And I'm going to take this opportunity to revisit a topic I think that I had talked about a bit at one point, which is cheesing the Demon of Hatred. So at one point, I don't know if this is still doable or not after all these patches. I have no idea. You could cheese the Demon of Hatred by having him run off the side of the map. And to me, this people pay money for the game. Hey, you play however the fuck you want to play. I got nothing but respect for that. You go nuts, and more power to you. But what I was reading and what people were saying is they were doing this and they were saying that it was legit and that they were just doing what any shinobi would do. Oh, and here's where I die. It pissed me off. That little move right there can be kind of irritating for me. I know how to deal with it, but sometimes it's like I forget how to deal with it. God damn it. Another reason I love these games. They're predictable and at the same time not predictable. Yeah, anyway. People would basically cheese him, and then they would claim it was legit because they're just doing what any shinobi would do. Well, no. It's just an exploit that keeps you from having to actually fight the Demon of Hatred. So I never understood this, but people would really defend this and say, no, this is not cheese. This is, winning by any means necessary. Okay. I disagree. Yes. I mean, I think that people should be able to play however they want to play, and I absolutely respect that, and I would never tell anybody they're wrong for playing however they want to play. I will only tell people that maybe they are incorrect if they do that and then follow that up by making the claim that they have beaten the Demon of Hatred. I would say that you have not beaten anything, that you have found a way to not have to do the fight, and so therefore you have found an exploit in the game that was not intended to be there, and therefore you did not have to fight the Demon of Hatred, but you did not fight the Demon of Hatred and beat him in any legit way. So you don't get to then say that you did all bosses or you beat Demon of Hatred or something like that. No, you didn't. Not that it matters. Who gives a flying fuck? Who cares? I just think that the in these games, the topic of cheese comes up often about beating bosses and whether or not it's legit or whether it should be something that is legitimized, whether they accept it, embrace. Oh, fuck. At the end of the day, who really honestly gives a flying fuck? honestly. As long as you're having fun and you're playing the game as you want to play it, I think that's all that matters, to be honest. But I do think that there is something delightful about being legit and actually doing all the bosses and having fun. So you will notice here that I'm using the malcontent. If you use the malcontent, speaking of cheese, the malcontent is something that is in the game and purposefully designed to use against the demon of hatred. I still think that it is overpowered and it kind of makes the third phase kind of a joke. But I think the malcontent is an example of something that is in the game by design that helps you with the boss fight, as opposed to just running him off the side of a cliff, which is not in the game by design, but obviously helps you. So I am using the malcontent here, and what have I've used 8 gourd uses. God, one of the worst demon of hatred fights I've ever had. But you can use the malcontent, I think 3 times. I'm not sure. I use it twice. Take all my swipes, do the stagger, do the empowered mortal draw, and it finishes him off pretty quickly. But the demon of hatred is not necessarily, I don't think, an overwhelmingly difficult fight or anything like that. But I don't know. I think that discussion of cheese or cheaping out and glitching out of a boss will continue on throughout all of these games, so long as they remain difficult, I guess. So now we're gonna go finish up, and here is where I completely forget to go back to Hirata. But we go to the, what is it? Immortal Severance ending, I believe. And that will be the run. And I really love this game. I think one of the first things I said to open up this playthrough was I had little expectations or no expectations or guarded expectations about how good this game would be, and it completely exceeded everything. I stand by that. I think it's amazing. I think it's a masterpiece of a game, and I love running it. As far as ranking it with the other Souls games, I'm not really about that. I don't know. I mean, to me, they all have a different flavor, and they all sort of stand on their own as their own experiences. I will say that I have run this game more than I've run the original Dark Souls. I've run it more than Demon Souls. In terms of how many, like, if I were to use that as like my measurement of favorites of Bloodborne, I've run, I don't know, thousands of hours. And oddly, Dark Souls 2, I have run an insane amount of hours as well. But I don't know. I think this game will stand the test of time. I think it will continue to be amazing. And I think that it will, or if not will, has set a new bar for action games. And I love it. And for anybody that listened, thanks for coming along for the ride. It's been amazing having some downtime and just having fun talking about stuff that I love. Yeah. So yeah, I will see you in the tiny little epilogue that I'm going to do with Al. And yeah, it's been a delight. It's been absolutely fun.
これはやはりあなたが持っていてください。また新しい忍びが力を求める時が来るでしょう。